your caller.
Tune in most days of the week, and he'll be there schooling some ignorant creep, or catch him on a gaming whim. But this ain't a game to him. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. So join Jovan and get your critical cap on. 'Cause there's a Bradley's baddie inside of me and you.
Oh shit. Hello. Welcome to stream, everybody. How you doing? How you living? How you coolin'? How you killing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is the Jovan Bradley show live here on Twitch, on YouTube. I'm kind of tempted to also try the Facebook. Right now my internet is holding firm. Fingers fucking crossed. Knocking all the wood that I can possibly knock on. Hello, everyone. Welcome into stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. It's been a crazy couple of days. An absolute crazy couple of days. But we are here live on all our platforms. I hope everybody has had a good weekend. Let me know, chat, how your weekend was. Let me know if you had fun, if you had a good weekend, if you had a filled weekend. I did. I had a good and filled weekend. But we're here. We're raring and ready to go. Raring and ready to go. We have a few things to talk about before we open call-in lines and get started. Because good Lord, do we live in some weird times, man. Let me open up my Google Doc with, I like to save videos that I find on like TikTok and whatnot through the week. So let me open that up and we can see some of what's been going on. And we can try to show you guys some of what is cooking in the world we live in. So first and foremost, let me just get my sources loaded properly. Okay, here we go. First thing, okay. This came up on my feed. This is just from the Jon Stewart show. And I swear to God, this is one of the most brilliant takedowns, I think, of MagServatives and their crybaby hypocrisy. Listen, conservatives, I need to talk to all of you really quickly. To all conservatives, why are you guys such little crybaby hypocrites? I don't get it. I don't get it. Please watch this. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Sure, I can. Oh, you guys can't hear this, can you? My God. Okay. I didn't turn any of my stuff on. There you go.
You disagree with
now
a fascist.
Leaders cannot call their political opponents Nazis and fascists and enemies of the state.
How horrible and dangerous it is to view people with whom we disagree as somehow being less than human.
Thank you. You can't say fascist. You can't say enemy of the state. You can't say less than human. These are simple rules that any responsible member of a society can easily follow.
The Democrats, they're fascists. Joe Biden, he's an enemy of the state. It's a very demonic party. Nancy Pelosi said, please don't call them animals. They're human beings. I said, no, they're animals. Of course, I think she's an animal, too. You want to know the truth?
Hey, pot, meet kettle. It's every time the conservatives sit up here and they talk about, oh, I'm so mad at the Democrats for doing X. Just assume Donald Trump has done it already and they didn't give a shit. Okay? Literally anytime a conservative tries to act like they are so offended, remember Donald Trump has already done the thing. He's already done it. He's not only already done it, but he's done it more. This is what we were talking about, like literally every day. The hypocrisy about this whole fucking there's so much violence. You need to disavow violence, as if the conservative right hasn't been spreading a violent rhetoric for fucking years, dude. So listen, I don't think you can be conservative, and I don't think you can be a good person if you're a conservative. I think you default to bad person. You default to being a bad person. It's just the default. This is legit. Actually, this is legitimately moral high roading here on my side. I'm absolutely virtue signaling here. I don't think conservatives can be good people. You're telling me the party that wants to get rid of free school lunches is the party of good people? You're telling me the party specifically that wants to continue funding a genocide, granted that's both parties, but you're telling me, actually that's not both parties. I'm not even talking about parties. I don't know why I'm talking about parties. I'm talking about ideologically. You're telling me the ideology that wants to continue to fund, because it's Democrats are also conservative. In literally every other part of the world, the Democrats would be considered fucking right-leaning. So you're telling me the ideology of genocide is the ideology of good people? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely nonsensical to think. And I, unfortunately, am not brainwashed into believing it, okay? Sorry, you guys said alerts were doubled. Okay, well, hopefully this helps. I'm not brainwashed, okay? I don't do the brainwashy shit here. And I saw somebody in chat. By the way, call-in lines are going to officially open up. If you want to call in, well, actually, give me a second. I want to wait I got to make sure our call-in screeners get on first. If you want to sit here and be like, I saw somebody in chat who said, did we burn cities after Kirk was murdered? No, you just trashed a city.
Look at all this trash.
You decided to trash a city. That's what you did. You just decided to trash a city. That's what conservatives did.
Left outside of Charlie Kirk's memorial in Glendale, Arizona.
Y'all want to complain about homeless encampments, and look at what the fuck you did.
Water bottles and chairs. They left wagons. They
you guys
left
are disgusting
snacks.
People.
All of it just littered across the ground. State Farm Arena has a no bag policy, not just clear bags, no bags. And that means folks who were out here since early this morning just left all their stuff out here. I don't know who's going to clean it up.
Wow, look
Crowds
at you
of
all.
Literally hundreds and thousands of people are just walking over this trash on their way to the security checkpoints.
For real? For real, guys? That's what we're doing now? This memorial, which, by the way, I watched highlights of the memorial. I wasn't watching the whole goddamn thing. Is Charlie Kirk's wife upset he's dead? Low-key. Real question. Do you think she might be okay with the fact that he's dead, bro? Not the conspiracy theory, but she sure didn't seem upset, dude. I don't know. I No. Listen, I'm not making a claim. I'm asking questions. I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. I'm just asking questions. Like, listen. Listen, I just think that her response is not the response I would give if my husband was dead. You know? It's only been like 2 weeks, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just didn't think she seemed that upset. Where's that noise coming from? Huh. Am I just hearing my room noise through my headphones? I hear something. Oh, it might be the call-in. It might be the call-in system. It might be the call-in system that I'm hearing. I bet that's what it is. But yeah, I think conservatives are all hypocrites. I think most of them are fucking hypocrites. From the word. Next, the other weird fucking thing that they've been doing. From the words. Why are conservative Christians listening to AI audio of Charlie Kirk saying he's okay? What the fuck is this?
Of Charlie Kirk, I was so moved just to hear it between services. You're hearing something the first service didn't.
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. Double down on truth. Double down on
what
courage.
The fuck is this?
Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy. Do it with strength. And never ever let evil think it won.
What the fuck is this shit, bro? What is wrong with conservatives? Somebody in a TikTok comment said it had this same energy. Wait. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Hold on. They said it has this energy, bro, and it's so real.
Oh, it's me, Maddie. I'm in heaven now.
So sorry I died. I miss you so much.
So sorry I died.
I'm happy here, so I'm not.
It really is the same energy, dude. It's so weird. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why? Why are you listening to AI Charlie Kirk tell you he's happy in heaven? Guys, don't be mad. AI Charlie Kirk is just happy in heaven. He's okay. I promise. So fucking weird, dude. It is the weirdest shit, my bros and my brodettes. It is so fucking weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm the normal person who doesn't want to listen to AI voice of dead people. You know? Is that just me? Am I the problem, chat? Am I the issue? It's so stupid. We really live in the dumbest timeline. We dead ass live in the dumbest timeline, bro. The absolute stupidest timeline. And they're all in the chat right now. All the conservatives going, but I don't see none of y'all calling in because you're scared, because you know that you can't defend your fucking side. What's the what's like, you're such hypocrites every time. Oh, are you gonna disavow blah, blah, blah? Are you gonna disavow all the shit Trump said? Huh? Are you gonna disavow all the shit Donald Trump said? No. You don't give a fuck. You don't give two shits. Donald Trump can say anything he wants and you guys don't care. You don't give a fuck. Again, wait, I'm going to play this fucking video again because I think it just really highlights the fact that you guys are fucking hypocrites. I think it's like the most hypocritical shit. Not to listen to Jon Stewart constantly, although I could listen to Jon Stewart all day.
Call someone who you disagree with a fascist.
Leaders cannot call their political opponents Nazis and fascists and enemies of the state.
How horrible and dangerous it is to view people with whom we disagree as somehow being less than human.
Thank you. You can't say fascist. You can't say enemy of the state. You can't say less than human. These are simple rules that any responsible member of a society can easily follow.
The Democrats, they're fascists. Joe Biden, he's an enemy of the state. It's a very demonic party. Nancy Pelosi said, please don't call them animals. They're human beings. I said, no, they're animals. Of course, I think she's an animal, too. You want to know the truth?
Again, you guys are fucking hypocrites. You're hypocrites. Just fucking acknowledge it. Dude, I would really fucking respect a conservative who comes up here and is just like, yes, I want a dictatorship. That's what I want. I want a dictatorship. And if they were just honest about that shit, like, yes, I want Donald Trump to curtail free speech. If they're just honest about this shit, you know what? I would be like, all right, fair enough, G. Anyway, welcome to stream, everybody. We have the call lines open, so if you want to call into debate, feel free. Remember, we did switch up our call-in system, so if you want to support the stream, obviously Twitch knows you guys can tip. Cash App and Venmo and PayPal are available. The show is not funded by any corporate media. I'm not funded by any lobby groups. I'm not funded by anything like that. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans. I think all you capitalists are fucking crazy. But if you want to support the stream, feel free. It goes to making sure we can keep the call-in lines open. And remember, you guys, bling, 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 you could win a giveaway if we hit our goals by the end of stream. Shout out already to, wait, why does this keep going away? Let's give a shout out to a super chat already. Thank you to Fuzzy Logic, said just bite the bullet and upgrade your internet to a business account already. What the shit? I don't think that's going to work because the issue isn't my internet specifically. It's Spectrum. Like it's a whole fucking list of shit. But I don't think upgrading to the business internet will actually fix the issue that we've been having. So that is just like on its front. No conservatives have been brave enough to call in so far. It seems like they're scaredy chicken baby pantses, which is fine. The topics on the board today: trans men and women are men and women, because duh. Gender affirming care for minors, because duh. The Christian God is evil and not real, because duh. Pro-choice: the rights hypocrisy after Kirk's death is embarrassing. And that one just might become the rights hypocrisy is embarrassing. And then sexual health education K through 12, all on the board. If you want to debate, feel free to call in. If you don't want to debate, don't call in. Super simple. Those are your options. Someone said, "Hey host, how come you won't criticize Islam but will attack Christian?" Because Christian nationalism is an actual threat to the country. Islamic nationalism isn't. That's why. There's your answer. Fucking figure your own shit out, dog. Where's my But also, yeah, what somebody in chat said. I've studied the Christian faith way more than I've studied any other faith. So what would be the point of me talking about a faith I haven't studied yet? That's like when conservatives call me and talk about shit that they've never fucking researched. And then they look stupid because they call me to talk about shit they've never researched. It's pretty dumb. You know, when I want to talk about something, I make sure it's something I've researched first. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you understand that it's like something you should probably do is research. Oh shit, everybody say shout out to Alan Michael. Alan Michael purchased a giveaway prize for the Twitch chat. What the fuck was that? Hello? Okay. Alan Michael gifted one of the merch. He gifted a pronoun tee. If you want that tee, feel free to type in !enter on Twitch. This is a Twitch exclusive giveaway. Twitch exclusive giveaway. Oh, Jess, you're the first person to notice it, but don't tell anybody, Jess. If you're listening, you know about what. Don't tell anybody. I want to see how many people in chat notice it. That's why I haven't done anything. Just curious why you split 2 and 7 now. I know they are. Oops, sorry, I missed that. 2 and 7. Oh, because I don't think they're I think they're two completely different things. You know. But I was just tired of the There was a topic on the board that I switched out, and I just don't remember what it was actually. I need a different mic stand. I was debating upgrading to like a boom mic and then just having it like up here. It could come out literally. Oh shit. It could come out like this. Well, in the full screen, it probably can't. Wait. It can come out this far. And then having, no, actually this far. And having that be my mic so I can so I can like not have a mic in front of me. I haven't decided if I want to do that yet. I also am going back and forth on if I want to get me a Secret Labs desk. Oh, that's what I heard. It was this dying. That was that noise I heard. I want to get a Secret Labs standing desk, because then I can put my walking pad under my desk so I can like walk in here while I'm working and not just like when I'm in my living room. Do I drop all that money on a fucking Secret Labs desk, bro? They look nice. I have such a hard time with spending money on myself. I have such a hard time with it. Shout out to Patty and Feisty. Thank you for becoming YouTube members. Thank you so much. But yeah, I want a Secret Labs desk. They look nice. And then I still need to upgrade this chair. I can't keep this chair anymore. This chair has... Maybe I should just do that first. Oh, there's the giveaway winner. It is Matt Vandy. Matt Vandy, you won. Click that link in the chat and you'll be able to claim a prize. Look at that, Matt Vandy. Congratulations. Anyway, for anybody that wants to debate, call in. Why are y'all so scared today? I know why they're scared. I don't know why I act like I don't know why conservatives are scared. It's because they've never researched their shit. That's why they're scared. There was a Procreate update, and I can't figure out how to get my brush to be the brush that I had before. I don't remember what brush I had before. I just want a standard brush. I don't want oh, actually, this one's pretty good. It's a little big though. I just want a standard brush, and I want the eraser to erase better. Why I feel like they changed things and I don't like it. Oh, by the way, because we're doing the new call-in system, I have to actually schedule my streams out now. So I have the next 2 weeks of streams scheduled out, which if you know me, you know is not something I usually do. I'm usually not I'm not a planned stream ahead of time kind of guy. I'm usually a go live when I feel like it kind of guy. Was I using a marker brush? What was just the standard brush I was using, dude? I'll never know. I'll never know. Call in if you disagree, guys. Stop being punk baby poo-poo heads and call in. What are you so afraid of? What are conservatives afraid of today? I don't understand. Yeah, I love when Christians are like, what do you mean? If the Christian God isn't real, how can he be evil? Okay, I guess like Voldemort's not real. I guess Megatron's not evil. I'm sorry, evil. Voldemort's not evil. Megatron isn't evil. Sauron isn't evil. Who else? The Joker isn't evil. I'm the Joker, baby. The Joker isn't evil. I guess, every bad guy ever is not actually evil. What's my ideal Subway order? I get a meatball sub every time. Meatball sub, toasted with cheese and a little sprinkle of Parmesan. I just like Subway's meatballs. I don't know what it is. Guys, I know number 4 is missing. I'm aware. I know that number 4 is missing. Okay? Don't worry. I know that it's missing. Relax, chat. How do I need to turn off Discord notifications. Hold on. Click on this. Notification settings. There we go. I know number 4 is missing. I'm not going to change it. I miss $5 footlongs going away is peak capitalism, bro. Peak capitalism. How much do you think Subway makes per sandwich? Like, real talk. What do you think Subway's netting per sandwich? Like, take a meatball sub from Subway, and what do you think they're netting? What's their, like, gross profit? What's their profit margins on a meatball sub? I bet it's disgusting. I bet it's crazy. Somebody in chat mentioned something, and I actually want to use this as a teaching moment. Okay. Someone in chat goes, answer this. What is a woman? Now, here's the thing. You aren't going to like my answer. You're not asking me the question because you want to hear like an answer that's like bred from like psychology, sociology, biology, and all of those things. You want me to just parrot back to you what the dictionary says. I have 2 issues with this on its face, and let's talk about that really quickly. Here are my 2 issues with just parroting back what the dictionary says, okay? Issue number 1. All right? Issue number 1. Oh, the whiteboard's not showing up. It's okay. Issue number 1. Dictionaries are descriptive. They are not prescriptive. So dictionaries do not tell us how words have to be used. They don't prescribe some level of correctness to words. They don't do that. Okay? They don't do that. Dictionaries are descriptive books. They describe how a word is used at any given point in time throughout human history. Imagine a dictionary sort of like a snapshot. So if I pull a dictionary from like 1985, there are going to be definitions in that book that are different than definitions today. If I pull a dictionary from 1776, they are going to have vastly different definitions to some words than today. Vastly different. So I can tell you what I think a woman is and offer you a definition that I believe is comprehensive based on, as I said, a litany of things, including, like I said, sociology, psychology, neurobiology. First of all, I don't think you'll understand my definition, but even if you did, I think you're going to engage in a fundamental. This is the problem with the what is a woman question, right? If we're looking at it from like a debate perspective, because I asked the question too, but let's say we're coming at it from a debate perspective. Well, we are debating that question, right? That question is the debate. So when somebody in the debate goes, well, no, a woman is an adult female human. Okay, great. That's your claim. Now support that with arguments. The argument can't just be it is because it is. That's a circular argument, and it falls flat in any way of like logically thinking. Now, how I define a woman would be an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on the female sex. This is a definition, again, that encompasses sociology, it encompasses neurobiology, and it encompasses psychology. That would be my definition of woman. And that definition I found to be very thorough. And I find that it holds up through what I found most levels of scrutiny. Whereas the blanket definition, an adult human female, does not hold up through like most levels of scrutiny. Anyway, we have somebody on the line. I guess we'll bring him up since we don't really have any debates at the moment. So, welcome in Liam. Liam, hello, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Chillin'. Liam, can I just get your age and pronouns, please?
Sure, I'm 22, he, him.
Okay. And Liam, you wanted to talk about logic within faith. Is that correct?
Yeah, last week when you were debating Brentley, you brought up that there was like, you were sure there's some logical thing that helps with faith, and I've learned about that in my philosophy class. So I was curious if you would be interested in that or not.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else is on the line, so if you want to have a brief conversation about that, sure.
Yeah, so in the philosophy class, we learned about William James and I think James Clifford, who had different arguments about it. And Clifford's argument was you can never believe anything without sufficient evidence. Mm-hmm. But James, on the other hand, was a person of faith, and he disagreed with that wholeheartedly, as well as Pascal's wager. If I'd assume you kind of know what Pascal's wager is, right?
Mm-hmm.
William James argued that it had to be like a genuine option, and he argued that it needed to have these three characteristics in order for something to be evidence without like physical evidence. Was like it needed to be a live decision, a forced decision, and a momentous decision.
Mm-hmm.
Which a force is like something you have to make. You kind of have to make this decision between having faith and not having faith in the end. And I'm not sure I quite get that, but I could see that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, momentous is...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't necessarily agree with Pascal's wager as a justification for the belief in God. Like I know that some people some people do, and some people are like, yeah, but if I'm wrong, nothing happens. I'm like, sure, but I'm not going to spend especially if we're talking specifically the Christian God. I think you can, like I said on the call last week, I think you can probably come up with some sort of logical argument that a creator might exist. Like I said, I've never heard it. But I think what my issue comes into is when people now have to tell me why specific denominations of faith exist, because the layer of evidence for that is way, like the burden of evidence for that is way higher than the burden of evidence in just sort of why you think a God might exist. Now, I don't know what that evidence would be. For me, God is supposed to know us better than we know ourselves. So, like, I don't know what the proper evidence would be to convince me of God, but he would. So I just don't know why. Like, I personally am of the mindset that, like, without that evidence, I'm just wasting my time. I don't see a utility in this belief without that.
No, I completely agree. I don't believe in this at all, by the way. It's just the logic that like this guy argues that it needs to exist is this live, forced, and momentous this genuine option. Momentous being like it has to make an impact, but the live option is the interesting part. That's like I prove my faith by like having faith. Live refers to like it needs to seem real to the person believing. Like you and I and probably every person on the planet can't, no matter how hard we try, we can't force ourselves to believe in the giant spaghetti monster.
Mm-hmm.
But Christians believe in God, and no matter how hard you or I try, we can't believe in God. The live option refers to that like innate belief of self that provides evidence for this belief in God, which I think is kind of silly, but this is the logical argument behind it that I've seen in my philosophy classes. It's like, because you have faith, it proves your own faith because you have faith.
Sure, but I feel like that's
the furthest of the logic I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's evidence that you have faith. It isn't evidence in God, right? You know what I mean? Like it's still not a logical reason to believe in God. Right? It's more, I mean, it sounds like much more of like a circular belief. Like I have faith, so therefore I believe in God. But why do you have that faith? Because I have that faith. Right? It like personally, I don't see it as anything but sort of like lazy apologetics, you know? Oh, Liam, you still there? Hello? Hello? Liam, hello? Hello? Okay, guess we lost Liam. Okay, well, I mean, I feel like I answered the question though, so hopefully Liam can go back in the video and see the answer. Yeah, I don't really vibe with like lazy apologetics. If you're going to make a claim to me that there is some supreme being in the universe, you need to have some evidence for that. But if you'd like me to just on its face believe in the Christian God, well, then I'm going to have a talk to you about why he's evil. I don't believe the Christian God is a good being in any sense of the word. Okay. Next up, we're going to bring in Kyle. Kyle is going to be joining us here on the show. Let's see what he's got to talk about. Hello, Kyle. Are you here to debate?
Yeah, I am. Do you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Kyle. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
I'm 43, and pronouns, I guess, would be common and sense.
Sorry, so just making sure when somebody calls you he, him, you get offended by that because your pronouns are common/sense?
No, I'm not into, like, it doesn't bug me whatsoever. He, him is cool.
Okay, so he, him is your pronoun. So the other thing you said was just an attempt at humor.
Yeah, just a little humor.
Okay.
I guess an attempt at humor.
Yeah, definitely an attempt. Kyle, what do you want to talk about today?
Sorry, I'm Canadian. So I've been seeing kind of videos from both sides of the Charlie Kirk thing. So I've seen everyone's kind of uproar from the right. I'm a moderate, just to kind of lay it out there. So I've seen the outrage from the right of kind of celebration from the left for Charlie Kirk's death. Now, I, again, neither side with either, but I'm confused as to how there is celebration with a widow and 2 children losing their father. Like, it's confusing to me that there's not compassion around there, and why there is such a large celebration that goes along with this tragedy, as I see it. Anyone who loses their life, it shouldn't be celebrated. I understand his views and his policies were polarizing. I understand some of his clips are not taken in great context, but I don't think anyone should celebrate the fact that someone lost their life. I mean, it's a tragedy.
You don't agree with that, by the way, Kyle?
What's that?
You don't agree that people shouldn't celebrate loss of life?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't agree with
regardless
that.
of
it,
no.
You do absolutely think that there are certain lives that people should, like, that people that are, it's okay that people celebrate after they're gone.
I mean, the word celebration comes with, you're talking about the dictionary definition of things. Celebration should be, the fact that what someone has done in their life, albeit a little bit polarizing, the fact that we're celebrating someone's death and that people are left in the wake to mourn that person's death seems a little off to me.
Just because people are mourning someone's death.
Now, I understand.
Wait, just really quickly. Somebody mourning somebody is not a reason why like somebody shouldn't be happy or celebrate somebody is gone, right? Just because there are people mourning, right? There are people that mourned Adolf Hitler, right? Does that mean we shouldn't have celebrated when Adolf Hitler did the best thing for Germany and took his own life? Should we have been sad about that? Should people have been like,
that's fair. I mean,
should we have not celebrated? Or do we recognize that, like, sometimes people are going to celebrate life because this idea that we need to respect all life, all times, and everybody's a human being. No, it's just frankly untrue. There are tons of people who the world is better off without them in it. It's just like factually the case.
No, that's fair. I actually appreciate that point. I never looked at it through that lens, from someone, and everyone's lost someone in their life. I'm not saying that I'm different or special by any stretch of the means, but when you see the videos online and you're flipping through YouTube and you're like, you see people dancing, I think that's a little bit disrespectful to say that they're happy that those views aren't being pushed anymore is a little different than dancing on someone's grave. Like, that's kind of how I view it. And I'm not saying that, I think you make a very valid point when it comes to that. Most of the world celebrated when Hitler passed away, and I completely understand that reasoning, and never looked at it through that lens. So I can appreciate that. But I mean, dancing, it seems a little over to me, but maybe you could kind of explain as to why.
Yeah, sure.
That meant so much.
I personally am not celebrating Kirk's death. I don't give a shit that Kirk is dead. Like, me personally, I'll just tell you my beliefs so that I can let you know where I'm coming from. I don't give 2 shits Kirk is dead. I don't give, it means nothing to me. I didn't know the man personally. Yeah. If I did, I would have probably said something nasty to his face. I didn't like his views. I didn't like his politics. I think he was leading. He was aiding in an attempt to help dismantle American democracy, which I can get into later if you want me to, get into the weeds of that.
Sure.
I think Charlie Kirk, as an individual, espoused a lot of white supremacist, ultra-nationalist, neo-Nazi talking points. I think he maybe didn't believe half of what he said in private, but he said it in public because I believe he was a propagandist. I see this in the way that he engaged in debate. I see this in the way he engaged in his conversations separate of debates. He was very clearly a propagandist. I think that if somebody comes from a group that he was propagandizing negative or incorrect information about, and that group is celebrating and they're happy he's dead, I understand that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly, I get that. Because why wouldn't you? Right? An example of this is Charlie Kirk, and I've talked about this a couple times. I have a video about this with direct stats if people want to find it. Charlie Kirk continually espoused a completely made up fact where he would say black people did better financially in the 40s and 50s. He said this all the time. It was like his whole talking point around like why the black household is not successful. He's incorrect about this on literally every metric that exists. Real wages, wealth accumulation, income, spending power, property ownership, all are better now, even adjusted for inflation, literally by every metric. Black people are doing better today than they did financially than they did in the 40s and 50s, by every single metric. So when I look at what Kirk does and what Kirk says, my question is, well, why would somebody and I don't think Kirk is a dumb person, right? So why would somebody who on his face does not seem to be a dumb person continuously espouse a quote unquote fact that is completely untrue? And I come up with two reasons. Either he was lying because he wanted to propagandize people into, again, white supremacist, ultra-nationalistic, alt-right thinking without saying it on its face, or he actually is really stupid and just never looked this fact up and was just saying it. Both cases, I think, is a person that shouldn't be speaking in public, like shouldn't be engaging in like public debate. Now, if it's case number one, which I think a lot of people believe it is, and the people who are a part of that group that he's been perpetuating this lie about see that he's dead and they're happy he's dead, makes total sense to me. If it's number two, maybe it's a little different. But I don't think it's number two. I think it's number one. I think he lied.
Yeah. So maybe I'm from the other side of the cloth. I've never seen that particular video that you speak of about him spouting off that the 40s and 50s were better. Every video that I've kind of seen was that, other than the fact of the father not being in the home, they kind of had it. Black people have it better today. Now that's how I took most of his stuff. And now again, this is all just clip points, going through the algorithm, so on and so forth. So when you click down one video, you see a whole plethora of other videos that kind of come up. I didn't see it from that lens. I would love to see that video that you speak of and kind of just dive into that, because that is kind of weird. He said it in his Jubilee. He said it in his Jubilee appearance. He said it when he was debating what's her name. Oh, really? Okay.
Let me see. Let me just go to his Jubilee episode, and I'll Control F it real quick.
Do you think men can give?
For sure.
Wait, I need to pull up the transcript. And this is only one instance. Like, he said it a bunch. It was like a talking point he used a bunch. Let me see if I can find it.
No, that's fair. And so
here it is.
The one thing
Hold on, real quick.
So you've watched a lot of it.
I'm gonna play it real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure my mic is set to. You might not be able to hear this, but at least chat will. I don't know if you'll hear this, but we'll find out.
Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less.
So yeah. This is also
maybe they were afraid. I mean,
this is also false. That less crime was committed in the 1940s because okay. So two things. One,
do you mind explaining? I didn't hear it at all. So.
Yeah. So he says that black families were better off in the 40s, and that the data shows this to be the case. The data does not show this to be the case. One example is we can look at home ownership. Okay. Black home ownership in the 40s and 50s was about 30%. It's almost 50% now. Black wages were adjusted for inflation. Income in the black households was about $25,000 per year. Adjusted for inflation, the median is about $55,000 per year now. So just like spending power, like they had more like spending power, obviously because wages are up, spending power is higher. All these are up. He also claimed this thing where he goes, there was less crime. They were committing less crimes back then, right? But this is also a half-truth statement he uses in order to try to paint a picture that black people are criminals specifically. The way he does this is he frames it that, look, there was all this less crime in the black neighborhoods than there are now between the 40s and 50s and now, not acknowledging that crime for every single demographic went up in the 80s and 90s, especially during the war on drugs, which the war on drugs has been admonished by both Republicans and Democrats as an abject failure, right? Charlie Kirk says he likes the war on drugs. Don't know why. everybody else kind of recognizes this was a terrible program, especially when we look at Reagan and the admission by his administration that they purposely targeted Black people with the war on drugs. So this is a half-truth statement. And it's also more half-true because since the 90s, crime in every area has been on a steady decline, save for times of economic stress when we see really high increases in crime, like the 2008 financial crisis or COVID. We see large spikes in crime again as there are financial stressors. So again, when I'm looking at what Kirk says, my question goes, well, why is he saying all of these things? He's not dumb. I don't think Kirk is dumb. So I think he's lying and he's propagandizing things, because if you can convince, right, it's way better to, if you want to maintain a system of white supremacy, a great way to do that is to paint a picture that Black people are criminals, right? Even if the picture you're painting is not even a full truth, right? That this is a thing that Kirk and others use. There's a thing called fear of crime politicking that was done under, again, I think it was Nixon was who did that, where they specifically put out, and again, this is all admitted to by the administrations, where they put out PSAs on crime and almost exclusively would make the criminals Black because they wanted to subliminally put it into people's heads that Black people are criminals. Even though when we look at crime rates and exoneration rates, and when we look at all of these things, like, we know this to not be the case, and especially because we know that poverty is one of the biggest indicators of crime, not race. Sorry, that was long-winded, but
100% agree with that. No, you're good. I completely agree with that. I just don't understand how that perpetuates white supremacy. Like, I understand where you're coming from about how inflating all these things kind of inflates a narrative towards Black people being criminals and stuff like that. I don't understand how that perpetuates white supremacy, though, because
if
that
you
doesn't
get it in the mindset of the people that Black people have something inherently in them that links them to crime, which is what they do, right? Charlie Kirk never wanted to talk about the systemic issues that lead to crime, which is why when we adjust for wealth, crime rates sort of even out amongst the races, wealth and population, or not population, population density. So when we adjust for wealth and then population density, crime rates even out, right? Kirk didn't want to talk about this. He wants to just link Black people with crime. And when you do that, what you do is you paint a picture in the head of people that Black people are criminals, thus leading to a continued over-policing of Black neighborhoods, thus leading to people continuing to distrust Black people for nonsensical reasons. It increases the school-to-prison pipeline. It creates bias in people that will eventually be police officers, so that they are now, like, if you have a kid who's listening to these things from Kirk, who grows up to be a cop, and in his head, well, Black people are just more likely to commit crime, he's going to racially profile more. She's just going to do that. So this is why when we talk about white supremacy and the furtherance of white supremacy, it's not just saying you dislike Black people or passing policy that affects Black people. It's also a spread of ideology that leads to internal biases amongst all people.
Now, would we be able to agree that? From your explanation there, I don't see that as promoting white supremacy. I promote that as kind of promoting the thin blue line, more like a supremacy when it comes to the police state. Now, I understand that the majority of people that are in police are white, but there are definite other ethnicities within the police state. So that's why the white supremacy thing, I'm kind of lost on that a little bit. I completely
What do you
agree.
think
I
white
hated
supremacy
Charlie
is?
Kirk's video, hold on.
Sure.
I hated the videos that Charlie Kirk put out where he didn't believe that there was systemic racism. There absolutely is. The fact that Black people were put in projects and all that stuff, and didn't give them those opportunities to necessarily better themselves, even though they continually perpetuate that they have those opportunities. They just need to take them, even though they're living in poverty, and it's a little bit harder to come out of those roots. So absolutely, there's systemic racism, and I completely understand where you could say, white supremacy is the police state, because absolutely in the 40s, 50s, all that stuff, every police officer was white, and they were patrolling black neighborhoods. I completely understand that, but I think the police state has kind of changed as far as the whole colorscape. And now that's why the white supremacy, I just think it promotes supremacy in general, because I'm white. I don't see white supremacy anymore. But also from that thing, it's also promoting the police state. I don't see white supremacy as much anymore. That's just kind of my argument when it comes to that. There is so many different ethnicities within the police state now, and they promote that supremacy in general.
What do you think white supremacy is?
I would, to give it a clinical definition, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't thought about it in these terms for a very long time, because I don't see it. I don't see a general white supremacy anymore. I think everyone is born equal. I think everyone has the same opportunities.
That's
not saying no, 100%. I understand that there's different circumstances for other people, and I grew up impoverished. I grew up in the hood, in I guess what you can call the hood in Canada. But my mom was poor. She worked 3 jobs. I had that opportunity to go to college. I had all these opportunities. I don't really see a white supremacy anymore, especially when it comes from Canada. I'm coming from a win.
Let me say a few things. One, white supremacy is the idea or the practice of gearing society towards the success of white people at the cost of another. So it's the another group of people. So it's the idea that white people use race or oppression for political, social, or economic gain at the direct expense of another group of people. That is white supremacy. That still exists. Whether you believe it's happening or not, the facts would differ with you there. 2, saying everybody has the same opportunities is functionally untrue in any system, but especially systems like ours. A child born into wealth who has both parents in the home, one parent is only working one job, and that one job is enough to comfortably live their life. So one parent is always home, the other only works a 9-to-5 shift. This child has access to well-off schools. So those schools have before and after childcare. They have classrooms where there are only like 15 to 20 kids per teacher. They might even also have a classroom aide because their school has so much money. They have access to well-funded extracurricular activities. This child is going to have vastly more educational opportunities than a child who's born to, like you, a single parent who might be working 3 jobs in a school system that is underfunded. So they don't have an adequate before or after school. The child might not even qualify for a free or reduced lunch. So their parents, they don't know, or school, it could even be the opposite. School could be the only food that they're receiving. There are plenty of children who are food insecure, who their only meal comes from school lunch, right? They could be food insecure at home. They go to a classroom where there are 25 to 30 kids per teacher with no aides. Their schools don't have adequate extracurricular funding, so they don't like child number 2 has way less opportunities than child number 1. Now you can make the claim that, hey, people can still escape situation number 2, sure, but to claim that everybody has access to the same thing because some people can get out of a situation like child number 2 is survivorship bias.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I just don't.
No,
don't
and that's
even
why I
remotely
kind of put that little
like
caveat. Yeah, no, I put that caveat that there is obviously there is things that kind of have that that kind of put that line in between, obviously the person who has that parent that stays at home, and everything that you said, I completely agree with. That's it's amazing to actually hear this, because a lot of the stuff that I see online, when it comes to kind of the left ideology, it paints a completely different picture. Like, this has been actually eye-opening. Like I for me, I haven't seen an actual political discourse when it comes to the left side. When it comes to the general algorithm of YouTube, it's all outrage and feelings, and to be able to sit down and talk and actually hear these points, it just doesn't get shown as much online that it should, because these are absolutely points that should be brought to the forefront and should be in the top of the algorithm, because these actually push points that are counter, kind of go across the narrative that I've kind of seen when it comes to the right-wing side. So this has been amazing. Like, honestly, I appreciate everything that you've said. This is why I kind of called in, and I was watching you there for a bit, and this is something that they should have a lot more online instead of just the kind of outrage that I've seen. I've seen terrible videos of celebration, and that's why I chose to call in, because everything that I see is just an absolute kind of feelings discourse, and that's why I did that piss poor attempt at humor when I came in, because these are the narratives that I get pushed.
Well, I mean, I would check your algorithm. Seems like you might be, because most of my feed is like legitimate 100%. Political discourse. But all I'll say is, go ahead.
I just wanted you to expand more on the war on drugs. So, to give you a little backstory, I've been in the war on drugs. I'm in treatment. I left treatment about 6 months ago. I'm living in sober living now. What are your thoughts on the war on drugs today? If you don't mind me asking,
I think all drugs should be decriminalized. I think the use of drugs is a victimless crime. The use of drugs, the purchase of drugs, and the possession of drugs under a certain amount are all victimless crimes, and I don't think we should be punishing people who are addicts. I think we should focus on care, using all the methods we've seen that have worked. Safe injection sites have shown to be really effective in helping people get treatment. Safe use kits have shown to be really effective. In fact, I don't remember which state it was, because I haven't looked at the stat in a while, but there was a state that moved to like decriminalization and saw like a 66% increase in drug addicts seeking out care, because they weren't in fear of like imprisonment anymore. So like, I just think we should be focusing on care overall.
Wow, no, that's perfect. I think that's one of the biggest things that lacks in the war on drugs, is that ability to be able to talk to someone. The majority of drug users generally have something that has went on in their life that's very traumatic, that they hold deep down within, that forces them to numb, forces them to kind of get out of their reality that they're set in. So having more availability to be able to talk to someone who is not outside their scope of friends and family is something that I believe that we lack across all of North America.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's studied addiction can tell you that like counseling and trauma counseling especially are really paramount to like helping keep your addiction in check. So yeah, I just think that care should be the forefront of our model, not imprisonment.
Absolutely, I agree. No, I want to thank you. I appreciate the conversation. It's been wonderful. I'm definitely going to be not watching the Charlie Kirk videos as to length, so that my algorithm is filled with that bull crap anymore, because this has been wonderful. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, Kyle, you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you as well.
Bye-bye. All right. Good first call. Good first call. If you guys enjoyed that, please consider supporting the show. Remember, I'm not backed by any corporate sponsors or any political lobbyist groups or anything like that. All your support goes to maintaining the call-in line and keeping a roof over my head, things like that. So if you want to support, Cash App and Venmo are on screen, and super chats as well are always appreciated. Shout out to Jamnick for the super chat. Jamnick said, oops, I accidentally removed it from the queue. Golly. Where did that go? Here it is. I just found out that I'm making some overtime playing in theme parks today. So here's some money. Orlando, Isle of Berk, Jovan likes theme parks. Jamnick, get me into Epic. I want to go to Epic again. And only when I went, I rode that Monsters Unchained ride like fucking 7 times. That ride is so goated, bro. It's the only ride I give a shit at Universal. Low key, Monsters Unchained is the only ride I care about, bro. We have some other people in the queue we're gonna get to. If you want to debate, call in. The number is 219-237-8005. That number again, 327-8005. Call in to debate me. Call in with something to say. You could be like Kyle though and just be like, oh shit, Jovan's actually right about everything. That's dope too. That is also true. Next up, we'll bring up Sophie really quickly. Sophie, I don't think Sophie's calling to debate. I think Sophie just has some questions, but let's just see what's up. Hello, Sophie. Are you here to debate?
Hi. I believe it could turn into a debate, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Sophie, could you just give me your age and pronouns, please?
24, she has.
Okay. And Sophie, you had some questions about capitalism, socialism, communism, things like that, right?
Yeah, so I am still very much a leftist on a bunch of things. One of the things that, like, I think the only thing I might disagree with you on is, switching to a communist economic system.
Mm-hmm.
I am, like, I'll be 100% honest. I'm very ill-informed in the economic debate. So I'm very much in the, like, sense of this system needs to change, but I think we can change it sort of within a capitalist mindset. But I'm also, like, trying to, like, test that and, like, see if communism or, like, socialism or something else would be better.
Sure. Well, it's pretty simple. Capitalism at its core, like the conceit of capitalism is entirely unethical. Like on its face, capitalism is just an unethical system. And it has to be. Capitalism has to work in a system in which money is not an infinite resource. It's a finite resource. There's only X amount of money on the globe at any given time. So in order for capitalism to exist, and capitalism is just the privatized, just the ability to own private property, right? Private property being means of production. So the ability to own bourgeois private property. The existence of money being finite, and the fact that once you own private property, that's something you own, and your goal is to maximize profits from this private property, right? Once you get into this territory, you find that, like, poor people have to exist, right? I think the current stat is that 65% of new wealth generated in the globe goes to 1% of people, which means they're actively siphoning off 65% of the world's wealth from 99% of its population, right? So, like, it is inherently a system of leeching.
I guess from my, like, view, wouldn't it be better if we, like, if poor people were to be forced to exist, wouldn't it be better to have a system where they can still live healthy, normal lives, and just have that sort of like, I guess, like luxury goods based system?
Well, we can't get to that and have that. So like the issue comes into when right now you're describing like, can we have a wants based system? But we shouldn't be starting at the wants based system when we haven't even accomplished a needs based system yet. Right? I shouldn't be worried about we shouldn't be worried about the wants of a bunch of people when a bunch of people are food insecure, water insecure, housing insecure. That's what we need to be focusing our effort on to begin with. And the problem comes into just how capitalism is on its core unethical. Capitalism allows, somebody should not be able to own land, right? That's so dystopian, right? Like, what would you do if a man went to the moon, landed on the moon, and said, I own all of this now? You would look at him and be like, what are you talking about? You can't own the moon. But we can own the land on Earth for some reason. And you can own it and then sell it. Like, somebody can theoretically, because they've done this, Nestle, for example, can buy up a fresh water source, bottle that water up, and sell it back to the people for a profit. That's crazy. Water comes from the sky. And I fully believe if we hit a level like the Lorax, you would damn sure find people selling air. They would bottle air and sell air back to you if it meant they could make a profit.
I mean, we already kind of did that, no? With the,
to an extent,
yeah, like I have a thing to clean out my my keyboard, which is condensed air.
Yeah, but I mean like oxygen, like selling oxygen to people in order.
Yeah.
Like imagine we start losing the atmosphere, but somebody creates like synthetic oxygen. You're damn well sure that you're going to have to refill that oxygen tank on the side of your house every single couple of days or every couple of weeks or whatever it is.
Oh,
they will sell you. They will try to sell you your means of survival, which is just crazy.
I guess maybe it's coming from like a sense of like not knowing, where like I'm looking at the system purely in a capitalist system. So like I'm only looking to fix it within the system, and I just don't know too much about like communism, socialism enough to like go, okay, we don't need this system, we can go somewhere else.
Sure, I can provide you some good reading material to start with if you'd like.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So where I think everyone should start on the very basis of like, if you just want to research communism and stuff and know a bit more about communism and socialism, just start with the manifesto. Like, that's the very first place. The manifesto is a great way to just like, it's super short. Like, it's literally the quickest read on the planet. From there, I think the best way to go is to read like Socialism Utopic from Friedrich Engels. I think that's like the next best thing to go to. And then it's just about the way you want to learn. If you're trying to learn about theory specifically, or if you're trying to learn what has taken place with like socialism and stuff in practice, I always recommend Open Veins of Latin America as a really good book for learning about countries that moved to a socialist system and what happened to them. So things like that.
By Galena? Galena is the name, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I will 100% admit I'm very ill-informed, but I'm very much a type that wants to learn, even if I don't like agree with it currently. Like I used to be a hard conservative and almost completely flipped. So like I am all for learning new things. I guess it's not talked about as much as it probably should be. Because like I've heard almost nothing about it besides like negative media stuff, which I'm always like, I'm not fully going to believe this until I look into it.
Really quickly, Sophie, I'm sorry, but somebody just said the stupidest thing I've ever read in chat. It might be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Someone said trans/gay will be irrelevant in the next 25 years. They don't have kids, and Christian conservatives have a lot of kids. There's no rebuttal to that. Do you think being gay is passed down from mother to child?
No, my mom is very straight, and I believe I'm the only I am pansexual. I am the only person in my family, but also like I know for a fact like the one I always go to is like Shakespearean stuff, where like a lot of Shakespeare stuff like has a lot to do with like gender and stuff. Like singular they appeared in Shakespeare long ago.
Yeah, that
So,
that
I
might have
don't
been
know.
that might have been the dumbest comment I've read in like a week. It literally sounds like he's saying that we won't have to worry about gay people in 25 years because they're not going to be able to reproduce and make more gay people, which is just stupid.
No, like also I have a non-binary or gender fluid non-binary leaning person, like a partner.
I hate to tell this guy, but he knows that like the rate of people who come out as gay has only increased since the 90s, right?
Well, yeah, but also like we can reproduce. Like I could reproduce with my partner. So like I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know. But anyway, Sophie, I hope I answered your questions today. You have a
absolutely.
great...
He also gave you a lot of reading material for work, but thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. You have a great rest of your day, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. We are still chugging along. There are still some people in chat or in the call-in screen. Next up, we're going to bring up Nate. Nate, hello. Are you here to debate?
Hello, good afternoon.
Nate, you have an awful lot of background noise.
Hello?
Are you on speakerphone possibly?
No, I have a headset. I just have my my Windows. I'm a truck driver. My headset's just, I guess, for some reason picking up a lot of noise. I'm not sure why. It's supposed to be noise canceling, but I guess it's a piece of crap. So it's a brand new one. So.
All right.
Is this a little bit better or no?
Yeah. That's we can make it work. Nate, can you just give me your age and pronouns, please?
I'm just 32 and I'm a male.
Okay, so your pronouns are male. I've never heard those ones used before.
No, I don't use pronouns. I don't use pronouns.
Well, okay. No problem.
I'm just
understood.
Understood.
I respect that you don't use pronouns for the rest of the conversation. I will speak to you and respect that. If you do use a pronoun, and you're just gonna hear a buzz like this come through the microphone. So if you do use pronouns, you will hear that little buzz. Okay. Okay. And what did you want to talk about today, Nate?
Well, originally I was going to kind of tail off of...
Careful, Nate. You use the word really quick. Nate, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You use the word I. That's a pronoun. Just be careful. Okay? Continue.
Right. So anyways, going to tail off of the... of what the gentleman from Canada was saying, and about how you were saying that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi.
Careful there, Nate. You used you said you. Just be careful. You is a pronoun. Continue.
I mean, if you're just going to be interrupting me,
Careful. Well, Nate, I told you if you used a pronoun, I was going to call you on them. So you're using them. So I'm going to call you on them. It's okay to not use pronouns. You're just going to get called on them.
I don't use pronouns in the sense of what I identify with my sexuality. That's it, you know, like the he.
Neither does anybody else. Nobody uses pronouns about sexuality. So I don't know what that has to do with anything. But you said I again, which is a pronoun.
I guess. All right, well. Anyways, so tailing off of the person from Canada who was, you were saying that you agree that
careful.
Charlie Kirk is a Nazi and a white supremacist and whatever. So why do you? I didn't really catch the conversation because you were. I was putting. Dude, what?
Careful. You keep using Nate. You keep using pronouns. I am totally fine with you saying.
Okay.
Like you keep using them. I don't know what you want me to do.
So okay. You could just stop interrupting me with everything.
But you did it again. You keep using Nate. You keep using pronouns. If it's okay, if you want to just admit, yes, I do use pronouns. I was lying before. Then sure, I won't buzz you every time you use a pronoun.
Well, then what the kind of debate is this then? I mean, you offer people to call in to debate. I'm here offering you debate.
Well, I just had multiple debates before.
Oh, I'm a he him. I don't have a he him or whatever. Then
you don't have a he him. What do you have? Do you have a she he? She her? She they? What are you then? If it's not he him.
I'm a guy. I'm a guy. That's it. I'm a man.
So then let me ask you a question, Nate. If somebody refers to you as he him, do you get upset about that? Do you get mad? Do you be like, I'm not a he him?
I just don't see the point of having to use that type of phrasing all the time. Like, why?
You've been using it in this call.
I have to say that.
You've been using it in this call.
Why do I have to say like I'm a he him?
Because I asked you a question.
Yeah, I is just using that is just the basic vocabulary. And so
yes, what if it seemed weird that you couldn't answer a basic vocabulary question,
I'm a
Nate.
he him. I'm a he him.
Nope, not the whole world. It was one question at the start of this conversation.
If it makes you happy, then I'm a he him. Then does that make
Nate? You don't have to use. I'm not trying to force you into pronoun use. You just have to accept that if you use one, I'm going to buzz you.
Yeah, you are because you keep interrupting me every time I say I.
I told you that I'm okay with you not using pronouns. But if you do, I'm going to buzz you, and you agreed to this at the start of the call. So don't get upset now that you're getting buzzed.
Well, I didn't know what you meant by buzzing. Like, what is it? What is it buzzing? You're just interrupting. I thought you were literally meaning like a beep, like there was like a buzz or something, like an actual buzz, like a sensor buzz.
Yes.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, you might not hear it, but the chat hears the buzz every time you say it.
Okay, well, I'm not hearing anything on my end, so I really didn't know what you were talking about. So, if it makes you feel better, then fine. I use pronouns. I'm a he, him.
Oh, okay. 6 minutes to get you to answer a question that I knew the answer to at the start. No problem. Okay, what topic did you want to debate about, Nate, the he, him?
Well, anyways, I was tailing off of the guy from Canada. You were saying that you had said that Charlie Kirk was a neo-Nazi, white supremacist, and nationalist.
Yes. Yep.
Well, I don't understand because all these words keep getting thrown around. They've been getting thrown around for a little over 10 years now, really. And how could Charlie Kirk be a neo-Nazi when he is so highly respected by Israel, Netanyahu, all other kinds of Jews in the country, outside of the country? How would you consider him a neo-Nazi nationalist, like this evil, mustache man, probably close to it? How could you agree with that when he's respected by the Jewish community? And I'm not standing up for the Jewish community. I'm not for them. I'm not against them. But how is it that he has so much respect for them? So are they blinded? Are they not seeing something? Is it something that they're misinformed about? Because usually, if you get praise from Israel and especially Netanyahu, which I understand not a lot of Jews themselves in the country of Israel don't respect and like because of the policies and things that he's running in his country, but how is it that he gets so much respect from the Jewish community?
So when I refer to neo-Nazis, they aren't just like a group of people who hate Jewish people. They're a group of people who believe, they could even believe, some Nazis during World War II believed that it was okay that Jewish people lived elsewhere as long as they were out of Germany and they weren't infecting the German population. Neo-Nazis, the way that I describe neo-Nazis and the way that I think is appropriate to describe neo-Nazis are people who go around espousing heavily white supremacist, ultranationalistic views, and they perpetuate a system in which white America first. And they believe in like the white replacement theory, and they believe that America needs to maintain these Judeo-Christian values even at the expense of minority groups. That's how I would label like neo-Nazis. That's why I don't call Charlie Kirk specifically like a Nazi. I like to add the neo in front of that.
Well, but usually aren't neo-Nazis? They are typically against Judaism. They hate Jews. They despise Jews, right?
It can be.
To wrap that up in a whole, then, well, it is.
I think you have plenty of them that don't hate Jews, just like I think there were plenty of Nazis in World War II that didn't hate the Jewish people, but they still saw to the destruction of the Jewish people, or they still saw to the expulsion of the Jewish people. Just like they think there are plenty of neo-Nazis now who probably don't hate Jewish people, but they like to espouse that Jewish people are secretly running the government and running all society, and they want to they want like Jewish people out of the U.S. and into it. They prefer they all go into Israel. Like there's a lot of different ways. It's not one specific thing.
Okay, because if you are how I've been, at least from my research of looking into neo-Nazi groups, because you can go on YouTube and find a whole plethora of documentaries about inside the neo-Nazi movement from back in the 80s and the 90s to up to today. But again, it's like how do you determine, like, are the neo-Nazi movements different from then as to now? Because even
100%.
when you see modern documentaries, a lot of them core basis is they don't like Jews. That is 100%. They don't like.
I think there's a lot of, and I think there are a lot of them that do believe that.
So then,
yeah, I think there are a lot of them that do have those beliefs.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty because it's the basis of the Nazi movement. So the Nazi movement, they're basing their core off of, what Hitler had, was believed in his books and writings of Mein Kampf and everything. So they take that, they still believe that.
Yeah, but that's missing the fundamental.
That would make every modern.
Wait, really quickly, the fundamental beliefs that Hitler held in his speeches and his books, they all align with ultranationalistic white Nazi rhetoric, even if you get rid of all the dislike of Jewish people. He believed in the destruction of masculinity, that the destruction of masculinity and the destruction of what it is to be a man was taking place. He believed in this hyper idea of German exceptionalism, and that if you were from Germany, you were so much better than other countries. Like, these fundamental core beliefs, even separate of hating the Jews, were at his core. The hatred and the lambasting of Jewish people and the targeting of Jewish people were I don't want to say they were a means to an end, but creating that common enemy for Germany to wrap its head around is what brought him into power, so he could espouse all of these other ideals he held. He's also just mad he didn't get into art school.
Also, I mean, no, I understand that. I mean, that's one of my key parts of history that I've always been fascinated with. But it wasn't just Jews too. It was communism as well. That was the other fear, because you got to understand, post World War I, Germany was practically economically dead. They literally had no money. Like I literally just bought actual, what do they call them, Reichsmarks from the 1920s, and literally I have a $10 million mark note and a $2 million mark note, because so that just goes to show you how bad the economy was after World War I and the Versailles Treaty. So, you know, Germany was essentially dead. So when Hitler, he had to pick somebody to pick on, and the two were Jews for one, but also the other one that not many people bring up was communism, because the communists were running rampant in Germany, trying to take advantage of the failings of the Weimar Republic, so that way they can establish a communist government in its stead. So, but Jews as a whole, because Hitler had believed that the Jews were running everything, were running the, you know, shops and everything, because Hitler would look around. When I've read some books on what Hitler thought about why Germany was so bad, was because he would see the Jewish shops, they would be fine, they would be having a business, but then other German businesses would be failing. So it was a combination of the communists and the Jews. That's why he had such a big problem with it. But like, getting back to Charlie Kirk and getting back to him and why you would consider him you consider it him being a neo-Nazi though. Well, neo-Nazis in your definition was, oh, some of them might like Jews. Well, I've always learned that if you carry the moniker of having or being called a neo-Nazi, you take pride in that. Well, being neo-Nazi, a newer Nazi, would mean that you still don't like the Jews, you hate the Jews, and they are a significant problem. Whereas Charlie, he was a big, profound supporter of Israel and Jewish, law and prophecy of the Old Testament and everything in the Bible. So, how could he be considered a neo-Nazi when neo-Nazis apparently do not like Jews or anything to do with Jews? Yeah, some may not do that, may not like. I highly doubt it, but I really believe that if you are a neo-Nazi, one of your main goals, if you follow the beliefs of what Hitler had wrote, you're not going to like Jews. Just like you're not going to like communists, just like you're not going to like gays, just like you're not going to like anybody else that is not within the confounds of Hitler and his beliefs of Mein Kampf. So how could Charlie be associated with that if he's so respected? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. And a white supremacist, because think about the name in itself, white supremacy. Being white and having the supremacy of being white. I've never heard Charlie ever say that. Like, you know,
yeah,
white
I think the issue here,
above everybody else.
I think the issue here, Nate, is that you don't believe somebody can be something unless they outwardly say it. You don't look at like actions as proof of someone's belief system. Now, I've already said I don't think you have to be anti-Semitic to be classified as a neo-Nazi. I think if you meet all other aspects of belief that these people hold, but you're not anti-Semitic, you still can be classified under this belief system. And I think this claim that you can't is just sort of silly, right? Now, white supremacy isn't something that you can only be. You can only be a white supremacist if you outwardly talk about your white supremacy. We already talked about this in previous call. Charlie Kirk consistently lied about black people to paint a picture that black people were violent. This would be white supremacist engagement. Would you disagree with that?
But if he's because I've heard the topic, the college campus interviews where he has talked about that, talking about the black family and the black culture and everything. Really, what he is saying when he was talking about black people and how it's worse for them now than it was then, he's talking about how at least back then the core structure of the nuclear family, there was a father in the home. And
was it worse for black people in the 40s and 50s than it is now?
I would say in like the South and Jim Crow areas, yeah, like
no, across the
South,
board. We're
they
just
were
looking
still
at looking at the average black. Take the average black person from the 40s and 50s, and the average black person from today. By what metrics were they better in the 40s and 50s? Because we talked about this in a previous call.
Well,
wealth is higher now, property ownership is higher now, education levels are higher now, income levels are higher now, spending power is higher now. What metric was better in the 40s and 50s?
I guess what Charlie was trying to say though is that.
But hold on. But we don't need to do, Nate. We don't need to do what he was trying to say. He was very specific and said that financially, black people were better off in the 40s and 50s, and this is not true. So did he lie, or was he too stupid to look up the actual facts?
Well, I think it's also a. Words I'm trying to use here. It's the because I've heard about the demographics of then, like why it was good then and why it was good and bad then. Something about the I'm drawing a blank here because we're on time. But I believe that yes, black people are doing a lot better now as opposed to what they were then.
Okay, so then did Charlie Kirk lie, or was he stupid?
I wouldn't say he was flat out lying. I think he was just trying to bring a point because when you look at today
his
in
claim was false.
Black culture,
his claim was wrong. He made the claim. I don't know. But you're saying you're saying look at all these things that he might have meant. No, look, Nate. Nate.
Okay,
he said they were financially better off back then.
Let me ask you this. Well, let me ask you this. Just because they're financially better off today, how is it that crime is still very high among the black population?
Crime is high amongst every population. What do you mean? Crime?
Yes, I understand that, but the black population
that's not true.
Is particularly higher, though, in itself. Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
FBI crime statistics that say that.
Yes, and the FBI crime statistics show that when we look at overall crime,
the FBI was getting tired of
the FBI crime statistics that we've been tracking since I think it was the 60s. The FBI started tracking crime statistics. The FBI crime statistics show that like overall crime, white people engage in 70% of all overall crime, which is proportional. Black people engage in about 25% of all overall crime. But again, when we look at crime numbers and we adjust for poverty, they start to even out because it's not an issue with race. It's an issue with poverty. And black people are more likely to be impoverished than their white counterparts. There's a wealth gap. It's existed forever. It's only gone down by like 10%.
So when they have that wealth gap, so when they are put into these populations where they grow up in the ghetto, the hood, whatever. Well, who put them there? Who put them in that situation to where?
Redlining.
Why there? Okay, exactly.
Literally 50 plus years of redlining. So like the 30s through the 70s.
Okay, exactly. So, and you had, and the Democrats were the ones who put them there. You had
Republicans and Democrats both passed redlining policies. Republicans and Democrats both passed. And the Fair Housing Act was primarily, the one that stopped redlining, was primarily pushed through by Democratic politicians. Republicans voted against the Fair Housing Act. So what are you talking about?
Well, then how come that Democrats, and even Malcolm X had said this, that the one people that you got to look out for black people was to look out for the white liberals, because the white liberals are going to be the ones that are going to let you in and let you believe that they have their back and put them in power, give them
Malcolm X was a staunch socialist. When he was talking about being careful of the white liberal, he's talking about the fact that liberalism is still a capitalistic mindset, and it doesn't matter how woke or how nuanced somebody who is white is. If they are still promoting liberalism, they're still going to promote the oppression of black bodies, because capitalism promotes the oppression of black bodies.
Okay, well,
but what does any of this have? What does any of this have to? So am I. I've done more than just read one quote of Malcolm X. I've like actually read like his like a litany of his works. He was a staunch socialist. He hated capitalism. He was vying for work. So my question to you is, when it comes to Charlie Kirk, getting back on topic, did he lie about his stats on the 40s and 50s, or was he stupid and just never looked up the actual answer?
I wouldn't say that he lied. No.
Then he was stupid. And then I don't know why we're he could possibly not be a white supremacist if he was just stupid. But like, I think that somebody whose whole thing is that I debate and I espouse myself as an intellectual should probably like fact check himself, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't, because he consistently kept saying, nope, because he continuously said that black people were better off financially in the 40s and 50s, which is not true. He had a fact that he never checked. And one Google search can prove this wrong.
Well, not everyone is right all the time. I guess we can agree on that. You know.
I don't know. I think it's different. I think it's different if like me and you are wrong when we're like,
if he is wrong.
Not if. Wait. Not if he is wrong.
Well, I'm just saying.
There's no if. He 100% is wrong about this. Right? He's absolutely wrong. But I think there's a difference on if like me and you are talking in somebody's kitchen and we're wrong, and if we have a platform of millions of people listening to us and we say something that is fundamentally untrue.
Mm-hmm. Well, if he is wrong, all right, if he is wrong and he is mistaken.
He is.
Well, there's no way he can get corrected now. He's gone. But okay, then he's wrong, and that's your opinion, and I guess that's how it has to be. You know, that's just plain and simple. Because I mean, at least we're having this debate. I've heard the argument before, but off the top of my head, I can't. I remember hearing this argument before, not from Charlie Kirk, but how black individuals in the 40s and 50s did actually have a primarily good life. And again, I didn't hear this from Charlie Kirk. I actually remember.
No, Charlie Kirk heard it from Thomas Sowell, and he just took it off the face of. He took it off at its face. Like you can track on Thomas Sowell just repeats white supremacist talking points. Like you just track all this shit back. Again. Every metric we look at.
So you bring that up. So is Thomas Sowell a white supremacist then?
Yes.
So that means Ben Carson would be one, and I forget the other guy.
Yes, Ben Carson is also white supremacist.
They're all white supremacists.
Yes.
They're white. Really? Okay.
Yes.
That's
do you think you had like a gotcha?
So,
black people can perpetuate white supremacy, bro. What is this? Black people can absolutely perpetuate white supremacy. What are you talking about? Every time you had somebody who was a fucking who was out there with slave catchers helping them catch runaway slaves, those were black people perpetuating white supremacy. Anytime you had black people fighting against the Civil Rights Act, those were black people perpetuating white supremacy. Like, yes, black people can perpetuate white supremacy. It's not a hard concept.
Wow, that is a first for me. Even that black people can be so. I guess you're saying that black people are helping.
Have you ever watched the Boondocks? Have you ever watched the Boondocks?
The country, is that what you're saying?
You ever watched the Boondocks?
Let me guess. Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah, what the fuck do you think Uncle Ruckus was? Do you think he was just funny? You think he was just like, haha, LOL? He's a white supremacist. He's a black white supremacist. They exist.
Well, he was kind of raised to believe that way. He thought he was white, but he actually
most white supremacists are raised to believe that they are white supremacists. What are you talking about? Okay, well.
Well, yeah,
I'm moving on.
It goes.
Somebody paid to move on. I'm moving on. It's just fucking pointless at this point. What? Unbelievable, dude. Shout out to Seth, Liam, and Kelly for the tips. Thank you all so much, friends. That goes to making sure we can keep the call-in lines open. It's so stupid, dude. So black people could be white supremacists? Yes, dog. What are you talking about? Yes, they can, dude. I really want Kirk apologists to answer the question. Why did Kirk lie about the black statistics? Why did he lie? Why did he lie? Truthfully. Answer that question for me. Why did Kirk lie? Oh boy. We'll take the next caller in a second. Oh shit, I didn't even see this. God damn. YouTube super chats. Holy shit. Thank you so much, everybody. Adam said, hi, Jovan. I love and appreciate what you do. I'm currently disabled from a work accident and I can't really do much during these scary times. Try to support lefty causes, especially when I can. Keep up the good work, educating us all. Thanks. Adam, thank you so much for the fucking dono on YouTube, bro. Thank you so much. Shit. We're almost to our YouTube goal after that. Also, shout out to Linus from Baravian, Germany. Thank you so much. Joshua said for putting up with the nonsense for 25 minutes. Thank you, Joshua. And we also got one from Megan. Thank you, Megan. Megan said privilege is invisible to those people who have it. So true. So true. Y'all out here killing the game. Thank you for supporting the stream. That does go to keeping the call-in lines open so we can continue on with debates. Also, shout out to knock on wood, but shout out to Stream Holding. Knock on wood. Let's bring up the next person. Roman. We're going to be bringing Roman up onto stream. Roman, hello. Are you here to debate?
I think so. Sorry if I sound like this. I'm just sick. I don't usually sound like this.
All good, Roman. Can you just let me know your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, 27. I usually use he and him, but honestly, I don't mind it. Any of them. I kind of like using all of them.
Oh, wow, Roman. Okay. Dope. Roman, did I take my meds today? I don't think I did. Roman, could you just let me know what topic you want to debate about?
Yeah, that was number 6. The rights hypocrisy after the death of Charlie Kirk.
Okay. Do you agree or disagree about it?
Hell yeah, I agree. I think they are hypocrites. Most definitely.
Damn. Well, Roman, we might not have much to talk about, friend. You waited for 41 minutes though, so I'll let you take the time to say anything you wanted to say about the topic.
Well, I appreciate you just having me on the call. But if it doesn't sound, right, like if you can't hear me, just let me know.
Okay.
But basically, my main topic is that all I've seen, in my whole life was empathy. I've seen it from my mother. She had to separate from my dad when he was caught cheating with her. I had to see empathy from my ex-girlfriend when she saw that I was unfaithful to her. And I saw empathy when I wasn't treated the way I thought I was supposed to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say that Charlie Kirk isn't who he really is, I think what they are lacking is empathy for those who he has hurt. It's a reality. He's hurt so many people.
I agree.
My friend, one of my closest friends, had very nearly taken their own life because they were targeted due to them being trans. And I was angry. I still am. I really am. So when you hear somebody like the past couple of callers, not the one from Canada, I think he was, very curious. When people show their lack of curiosity, I think they might be a little sick. I think they might be coming down with apathy because they don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're a lost cause, but I definitely believe that they need a wake-up call. They need to see the people that aren't seen. And it's sad. I really hope, actually, that we can be better after all the bullshit this country has given it to its people, especially the poor people. I really don't understand why people can't see that it's a class struggle as well as a race struggle, as well as a gender struggle, as well as every other kind of struggle that makes somebody other instead of just a fucking human.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I haven't disagreed with a single thing you said so far, Roman.
Well, it was just something I needed to say. I really enjoy watching the streams. They're great. I'm glad that you're so knowledgeable. I'm also glad that I get to see people on the occasion, not all the time, but on the occasion they get to spark that curiosity back up and find out for themselves. And hopefully they'll be able to spread that word. Because the one thing I hate to see is people live in the darkness, to live in their ignorance, and then they act out on it. Like that shooter. He acted out in ignorance. He wasn't going to do a damn thing whether Charlie Kirk was going to die or not. What happened, happened. The damage was done. And now he's going to serve a life sentence. For what?
Well, they're pushing for the death penalty, actually.
Which is another fucking terrible mechanism of this country. It really is. I don't know what is going to take for people to come together and see that we're all the same as we should be. But I really don't want anyone else to die. I really don't. And I've seen good people die already.
Yeah.
It sucks. It kind of it burns at you, So that's about all I needed to say.
No,
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for calling in, Roman. I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay?
I appreciate it. You too.
All right. That was Roman. Hey, guys, we still have the call-in lines wide open. So if you want to call in, 219-327-8005. That number again, 219-327-8005. Remember, this week we will be joined. We're supposed to be joined by Jimmy on Wednesday, but I'm actually going to text him and see if he can do a different day. I forgot I can't do later on Wednesdays. Okay. Not yet, Ryan. You will hear from me when I'm ready to talk with you. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's bring up the next person. I'm a away guy. I self-reflected and I know it ain't change. There we go. Coming up next to stream, we got Zero. Zero, hello. Are you here to debate?
Hi, yes, I am.
Okay. Can I just get your age and pronouns, please?
30 and she, her.
Okay. And Zero, what did you call to debate about?
I wanted to debate about the implementability of communism and sort of a medium system between communism, capitalism that I think would be easier to get to from our current socioeconomic standard.
Okay. I feel bad that you waited on the phone because I'm not really touching on communism or anything today. I can add it to the board.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just not really one of the things. Just to give you like off rip, just to give you my beliefs, I don't necessarily have an answer to how we would get to communism or even how we would get to socialism. I think it's going to take somebody a lot smarter than me to plan that. I just, when it comes to like implementation, I recognize that this is a system that we probably should get to. I just am unsure of like the best way to get to it.
Yeah, I just find communism to be a bit idealistic. Like, it is obviously the better system. Like, we can't even argue with that. Like, okay, everyone gets what they need, and not everyone has to work beyond their capacity. Like, that's great. That's amazing. But I think, like, the best, and I'll just give a short answer, is, like, a social meritocracy where we have our needs filled, but there is a certain degree to which you can work to get more, but it would have to be working more rather than simply being at the top of whatever industry.
I don't necessarily think there's an issue though with it being idealistic, right? Like we should be, our end goal should be the most ideal society we can make it, right?
I mean, absolutely. But like so what I mean by calling it idealistic is that, like, obviously communism, we don't have a state, right? Like, if we were to implement that across the world, that would just work, like we could just trade with other communes, whatever, and we would figure out a way to make that work. But as long as there are capitalist countries, they are backed by a state. They have, the ability to amass resources and weaponry from like these smaller communes. And that simple existence already means that we kind of need the state's protection.
Yeah, sure, maybe. Like, I don't necessarily have a I don't want to say disagreement.
Yeah, that's just what I see as the major challenge.
I personally see any system that continues to maintain private property ownership is always going to lead back to that unethical standpoint.
I actually agree with that. And that's why I say like a social backed meritocracy where, like, yes, it would still be worker owned. Like, you hire someone, they get like whatever, like, basically like how people have stocks or whatever in companies. Like, essentially you hire someone, they have stock in the company, they are getting profit share, that type of thing.
Yeah, sure. But the company's goal is still my part of my issue with that is the company's goal is still profit there. And so in which case you're always going to have somebody working in some unethical way, because the only way you can generate profit is by short staffing or by shorting the worker. Like anything else is almost any other means of profit push is ethical, right? Like, let's say, hey, we got a really efficient way to build the product now. So it's so much cheaper to build the product just because we've developed some efficient way to build it. But we still need to maximize profits. You've got to end up shorting your workers.
And that's why you back it with socialism. You know, it is still enforcing the idea that, like, whoever is working at this company is getting a certain profit share based on their contribution to that work, you know, and it's more of a thing of like, rather than just allowing people to maximize profits or whatever, they can sell as much as they want. You know, they can make as much as they want doing that. But there is essentially the idea would be to set certain standards for what people need, what people get, you know, and once you set that standard, like everyone has healthcare, everyone has food and water, you know, and like, here's the tax rate. It's the same for everybody. There's no breaks. There's no tax breaks. That's the kind of system I mean.
Yeah, I just think we're now moving. I don't think we're looking at capitalism at all, because in order for companies to agree to this worker share, you would have to tell them you're going to take a hit in profits, and then they would say no, and then the state would have to come in and now take that away, and now in which case we're seizing the means of production, and then we're doing a socialism.
Yeah, and like that's kind of what I think is the proper answer. Is like we should just be doing a socialism with a degree of free market, you know, ability, so that people can still grow, get more, you know, make luxury goods and things, but like without the incentive or really ability to short workers out of the profits of whatever they're producing. And of course, without like taking away the needs of people. This also sounds a bit idealistic, I understand, but like, you know, like when we consider just how much we have in excess resources, how much food grocery stores are throwing away, stuff like that, like it really wouldn't be that hard to get there, especially through like the slow implementation of social programs.
I don't know. We've been trying to slowly get there for a long time. I just feel like at this point we're about to hit so much stressors that I think we kind of missed the boat. I mean, we're about to. You know what? I won't say that. Just because I don't want to spark anger, but still, I get what you're saying. But I just, you know, I'm not 100% on which way I would want to lean to. But yeah, Zero, I do want to thank you for calling in. I hope you do have a great rest of your.
Thanks for having me, Jovan.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. That was Zero. Okay. We are going to bring in the next person. Next up, we're going to be speaking to D. Okay. D, are you there?
Yes, hello. Can you
All
hear me
right.
properly?
I can. D, you wanted... Can I just get your age and pronouns, please? Oops. Oh, no, you have no idea how embarrassing that is. I just shut my stream off because I missed a button press, and then I absolutely just completely... Jesus Christ. Okay, well... Okay.
You want to know what's hilarious about that?
Maybe.
So, back in my college days, I was given a fraternity name specifically because anytime I entered a conversation, apparently the whole conversation broke down.
Yeah, apparently I did it. I don't know what the fuck. Let me just see if I can get stream back up and running. I think we're back. Yeah. We're back. Okay.
I think you're back.
Yeah. No, we're back. We're back. Okay. My bad, chat. Okay. I went to hit one button, I hit a different button, and it completely destroyed the stream. Anyway, D, Can I get you? Wait, let me. Oh no, I've been recording this whole time. Okay, cool. That's gonna be funny. D, can I get your name, age, or it's not your name? Sorry. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
Absolutely. 34 and he, him.
Okay. And D, what topic did you want to debate about?
Hopefully we'll be more in an agreement, but I can see the potential for a debate in this. So topic number 6, the right's hypocrisy after Kirk's death is embarrassing. And I wanted to talk specifically about a sub aspect of the situation. So I 100% agree the hypocrisy is just ridiculous and embarrassing. But in the wake of their reactions, I see a lot of issues on the left side. And just to be clear, I am a leftist. I am not with Kirk. But I see a lot of creators attacking creators on the left side, where, especially white liberal creators, essentially, they would take clips that are just taken wildly out of context and use that to attack.
Are you specifically talking about Dean Withers?
Been allies.
Seems like you're specifically talking
about Dean Withers. I was
going to
use him as an example. He's the biggest example, but I see others too. But yes, I was actually going to use him as the overall example to address everything else. Okay. So, in particular, I have seen creators, and I will say specifically for Dean, just to make it easier on everybody else. I've seen them taking that 3-second clip that I'm sure everybody in chat has already seen about him being pushed to the right if yada yada yada. Now, I saw that clip and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Why would somebody say anything like that? So I tried looking into it. None of the creators that I saw talking about it showed anything beyond that 3-second clip. And it all comes from like the same 1 or 2 people. So 1 or 2 people originated it and then it spread to dozens. And nobody gave any context to it. So I kept looking until I finally went to Dean's channel itself. And then I saw the full context. And then I saw how fucked up everything is. Because in case chat doesn't know, the full thing that he said was that he does not celebrate the gun violence. And that if anybody celebrates it, then there's a line between him and us. And if the left collectively decides to celebrate the gun violence, then that will push him to the right. Collectively celebrates it. That's the issue. So when people are saying that he's showing his true colors because, he's saying that people will push him to the right, the reason why he said that was specifically because he was condemning gun violence and that a lot of people on the left at the time were not. So my thing is, from this example and then extrapolating into people.
So here, let me just say, here's my issue.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it. I'll just speak about it. Whatever. It's not like I talk to Dean anymore or like engage with Dean's content anymore. Dean's stuff doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Oh yeah. Oh, just real quick.
Sure.
Yes. No, I agree. Just really quickly before I let you finish that one. I don't care if people support Dean. I literally don't care. Y'all could support him. Y'all could not support him. I literally don't care. My base issue is not being as hypocritical as the people on the right. If we're going to be, if we on the left are going to be the people of truth and the people of reality and the people of like morals and everything like that, then we need to act that way. That's my thing. Like, don't be as hypocritical as the people on the right who are just like, you taking things out of context when they're talking about Charlie Kirk's rhetoric and everything like that. And we're like, no, the context makes it worse. We can't be on the left taking a 3-second clip and being like, oh yeah, that's enough to show that that's its true colors and blah, 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 blah. Like, we cannot be that lazy. We cannot be the people who just don't look into things. We cannot be the people who are just choosing to ignore the situation surrounding the fact. That's my take on it. But yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I was muted. Personally, I think that when it comes to no, it's all me. When it comes to Dean's reaction to Kirk, from what I saw, people were more frustrated with what appeared to be on its face, and how do I want to phrase it? It appeared to be on its face that he was ignoring the pushes of
marginalized communities.
Well, more not ignoring the harm, but more ignoring what that community was saying they were feeling about the situation. That's how it appears. Now, I don't watch Dean's content. Yes. I don't really care much about what the kid does. I don't think he's like a harmful voice on the left. I do think he's a lib, so I have my issues on that regard. But like, I don't know. When I'm looking at it, right? I don't see the left as, at least when I think of the left, I think of, like, are we talking liberal left or are we talking leftist left? Because like leftists have never been the side that call for peace. So I don't see any like hypocritical stuff there. We've never been the side of like, oh, we should all be peaceful and whatnot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm more along with, me personally, I'm more along with the idea that unfortunately, violence is kind of like a necessary factor. Like, I don't want there to be violence, but every major change in society over the years has been brought through violence. So as much as I don't want it, I accept that it just is a reality. But from the people that I've seen, I think it's been like a little bit of a mix of liberal left and leftist left. I can't be too sure because I don't follow all that many people. It's just what shows up in my feed. But from what I have seen, it's been like a mix of the two. Muted again? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh my God, I keep muting myself and forget to fucking unmute myself. That's fine, because it just sort of helps what I was saying. I don't necessarily know that I like super disagree. So yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like that was really just my point of contention. Like, I genuinely don't care if people support any one particular creator or another, but let's just be truthful. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Look at people who have historically proven, to be consistent with their values. If someone says, yeah, I condemn gun violence in every single case, and I have historically condemned violence in every single case, then take that for what it means. Like, before you attack a creator who you think is being problematic, look at their history, just like we do with Charlie Kirk. Look at his extensive history of being such a piece of shit, mm-hmm. and use that as a basis, not take like one instance in a very traumatic experience. Because like, come on, man. People talking about he's crying over Charlie Kirk's death. No. Parker, his best friend, was literally next in line to debate Kirk when he was shot. Mm-hmm. Literally next in line. Who's going to blame him for crying over that? For being so emotionally overwhelmed? I
think though, where some people get frustrated.
Yeah, I got a little bit further from my point that I was trying to. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I can understand where people are frustrated because they're like, you don't ever cry this much when like black people are shot and killed. You don't ever cry this much when like Palestinians are shot and killed. But like now we're sitting over here crying over like Kirk. I think that's where people get like frustrated.
And that's the other thing, because those same people never really looked at his content, because I've seen him.
I've never seen Dean cry.
Really? Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him. I actually watch his lives pretty often, but I've seen him. Unfortunately, okay. I've seen it. But yeah, he again, I'm just using him as a specific example to extrapolate to the whole, because I see a mix of different reactions. I've seen a mix of different reactions from creators that I follow. But like, just look at their history before making a snap judgment. If they have been consistently sticking to their values, then give them some grace. Give them an opportunity to just like process their feelings and take accountability, which he did. He actually did. There's a creator named Athena, or at least we call her Athena, who spoke with him and had an entire discussion with him, and he wasn't in the mental space to like understand what she was saying.
Well, then you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be on a live. Okay.
Exactly. That was something that he admitted to also in a future video. He was like, no, I should not have been on live this entire time because he wasn't in the right headspace for it. And that's the thing. People, liberal left, leftist left, everyone who was just not like a MAGA cult supporter should have a little bit more open-mindedness in recognizing that these people are feeling emotions that we feel. I would consider a lot of MAGA people to be aliens at this point. They're just, the cult is scary. Just a little bit more grace, because we can't tear each other apart right now. It's not helpful. It really isn't.
Okay.
Just looking at the truth.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, that was it. I wasn't expecting a long conversation.
No, I get you. All right. Well, no problem.
Yeah.
You
So thank you for having me up here. This is like the first time I've tried this. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. I'll be still watching the stream.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, that was all the calls. So, I mean, what was that? 2 hours of debates, kind of? All right. Well, what do we want to do for the rest of stream? Should we go game? Should I go play a horror game? I go play a horror game. I can go get spooked. Do I have any horror games I haven't done yet? We played Blasphemia. That one was dope. I still haven't done Ludo past like 10 minutes. We have like this Insomnia game, Time for Bed, Dread Flats. I have a bunch of horror games actually. Minecraft is the scariest horror game. Yeah. I'm also drained, so it could be an excuse for me to just like chill for the rest of the day. I have some other work that I have to do. I got to edit yesterday's dump. I got to edit some clips and stuff. Money for Poppy's playtime. Ugh. I'd have to replay the whole game. I've played through the first Poppy and the second Poppy and some of the third Poppy. Is the fourth Poppy's out? I don't actually know. Is the fourth Poppy's playtime out? You play any VR stuff? I have a MetaQuest 2. I heard MetaQuest 3 can work as like a regular VR. Is that true? Like you can play games like PC VR games with it? If that's true, I might get the 3. All the quests can. I can't with my 2 without like. Can I? How do you set that up on the 2? Can I play Black Mesa? Is that it? On the 2? I don't know why that still fucking trips me up. How much is a 3? Like $300. Hmm. How do you stream from your PC to MetaQuest? How? And is the like how's the latency? Oh, you need Oculus Air Link? What is that? I guess it's called MetaQuest Link. What is that? What is that? I don't know. I wouldn't want to use a cable. I would just want to. Well, we're going to close the call-in lines at the very least. So if you didn't call in, you missed your chance. Maybe tomorrow. Wait, I'm not streaming tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. What should we do? I should go get work done, right? I should go get some work done. Okay, I'm gonna go get some work done. Thank you guys for watching today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Tomorrow we will be back for more stream fun, as it were. But I do have a bunch of work that I should go do. I should probably go do that now. So I'm gonna go get all that work done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chilling with me. Low key, it was great. I want to give a shout out to our tier 4 members from YouTube. So a W shout out to tier 4 members. Bam G, Emery Emojin, Ayla Ursus, Zurith Moonpaw, Gib 5500, Kelsey K, Jake Gorshender, Matthew Holloway, Kazim, Vampy, Yemye, and Dragon Nerd. Thank you guys for being tier 4 members and supporting the channel. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and don't do anything that I would do. Okay? You guys be easy, be breezy, be beautiful, be cover girl. Goodbye.